chime in on anything,
Well,
how it helps you, or?
Well, sure. I mean, just coming out to doing, a convention like this, it's fun. You know, you come hang with your friends and talk about HWA. It's fun.
Well, also the social aspect. A lot of the time, I think everybody will agree, being a writer can be kind of a lonely thing because you're in the little turret so many hours, and you're interacting with the computer, and it's not a very good conversationalist. And getting together with people who are experiencing the same sort of thing as you are is always a positive, and not having that can weigh on you after a while. So it's good to know that somebody else is then screaming at their windows.
This morning, just before the show opened, one of the staff members came by our booth and was looking at it. It turns out he is a reviewer for Rue Morgue magazine. And I was away last year a lot, so I'm behind in all my work, and I haven't sent out all of my press releases for my new movie, Days of the Iguanas. So I was able to give him a copy of my movie and for him to review. So it's great. Here you've got a tie-in with the group, and you're physically seen, and you can talk to people about what you're doing, and that's very important because it's very ongoing promotion. It never stops. And you talk about what you've done in the past and what you're planning to do in the future, and then ask people about what are their interests, because they're vampires and zombies and ghosts, and they all take different cycles. So you need to know when you're in that cycle and when you should be producing more work in that genre. So is there any questions from the floor? Yes. Yeah, sure.
Okay, just wondering if you guys have a program to hook up illustrators with the authors for the purpose of covers, things like that.
Ooh, that's an interesting idea. I don't deal with illustrators like myself, because I write novels, so they hire the book cover people. But certainly, I would think, because I see here in our brochure that they. There's a thing for illustrators here, and I know there are a lot of, we do have a lot of illustrators in our membership, so I would imagine networking, you can network better. I really don't know about the whole, how it hooks up. Thank you.
Okay, stepping outside the HWA, check out the Goodreads site, because Goodreads does have a column specifically set up for hooking up cover artists with the various writers. So poke around there, you should be able to find it without too much trouble, and that might give you the outlets that you're looking for.
And also, as we all know, when you're in a group, word of mouth and so on, right? And again, so if you were in the HWA, then you'd be on the website, then you'd be in the secret forums. You could say, hey, who needs an illustrator? Oh, yeah, Joe Lansdale does, and so on, right? So again, it's gives you another layer of networking opportunities. But I do know we have a lot of really good illustrators in the HWA. I just don't know how they go about doing their thing. Yes?
Yes.
How do you get a book in a store?
So you mean?
Like, if I was to write a book,
Mhm.
how would I actually get it, in a store?
Well, it depends who you're writing the book for. Now, if you were contracted to write a book by Simon & Schuster, they deal with all that.
No,
But you mean self-publishing. So if you're self-publishing, like I have a couple of self-published books, but I've been published by Leisure and Orion and all that. So I'm one of those hybrid people, as I think we all are. So what I do is I put my manuscript on Kindle and CreateSpace, and apparently now CreateSpace has more distribution, but the reality I have found, it is very difficult to get self-published books into stores. You really have to know people. You're better off to go through a traditional publisher. I don't know if anyone has experience with trying to get self-published work into stores.
I'm with third-party publishers across the board, but I do basically all my own marketing. And Chapters Indigo, unless you're on the computer system,
Yeah, they won't.
forget it. If you have gone through Kindle, you're probably on the computer system. And once you're on that computer system, you go to them, fall down on your knees, offer them your firstborn. This is to the store manager. And if you are very lucky, the store manager may be willing to get some stock in for you to do a signing and retain whatever doesn't go during that signing. If that happens and you have physical copies in the stores, they will then ship them around. But you really need to just do your legwork and go to store manager after store manager after store manager until one of them gives you that first crack to get in. The other place to get your books out is to go with the independent booksellers. Now, a lot of the indie bookstores will put your books on the shelf as a consignment. Now, Chapters Indigo will do consignment too, but they want 45%. Yeah, and normally my author discount on the titles that I get to sell is 40%. And if you do the math, that tells you something about how much money I'm going to make if I go with Chapters Indigo. Yes. So, but if you go to the independent booksellers, and you basically deliver the book to them on a consignment basis, and a lot of them will do a 20% consignment. So that, you have to decide whether it's worth your while to shell out the money and have it sit there. Now, this will not necessarily sell your book. Frankly, if people don't know your name, you're not going to make sales. They will sit there. Some of mine have literally sat there for years and not sold. Then I went in again, did a little bit more begging, a little bit more pleading, quite a lot of flirting. Yes, it was a female bookstore manager. Hey, women do it all the time.
Go for it.
So, and got my books moved up to the local author section. And the ones that they'd had sitting there for a year suddenly started moving at that because it's all visibility. If your books are spine out on the shelf, very low visibility, and you're not going to get much. But if they're in that local author section, they're normally face out. People are going, hey, they're local. Oh, they're signed. Oh, I'll take a risk. So you can try to get in there. And again, if you really want to get out, look up your independent bookstores. Be willing to take a commission.
HWA has a list of them on their website.
Yeah.
Another venue that you can do as an independent is Word on the Street. It comes out the third Sunday of September, and I think it's the 22nd this year, or the 21st. And through my company, CJ Creative Productions, I also publish bicycling map books. So I have my books there at Word on the Street. And then I also put out my movies on my table to sell. And you can, as an independent publisher, you can get a very low-cost table and share it with people. Or as an organization, a number of organizations have tables at the event, and this is at Queen's Park, north of the Parliament buildings, all around Queen's Park. It's all closed down for the day. It's a Sunday.
This segment brought to you by Worlds Apart, a tale of love that spans two universes. When Marcus journeys to our world in a bid to save his own, he meets Alcina, who is involved in a custody battle over her son Timothy. Can he save this beautiful creature's son? And what are the feelings that develop between them?